Hey everyone, welcome to episode 12 of the Nerd Herder Show. I'm Rich.
I'm Nick.
And today we are drinking...
This is a cool one.
Yeah, this is a cool one.
We'll see how it tastes.
I'm pretty excited about this. It's New Belgium and Ben & Jerry's, the Salted Caramel Brownie Brown Ale.
Yeah, you thought they just made ice cream.
Now they're doing beer. Proceeds of this winter-loving beer benefit protect our winters.
Join the snow-loving... What does that mean?
I don't know. Is it environmental thing?
Probably.
I don't know. It's got a little cow on it, and he's got
hippies.
It's got snow goggles and a scarf and a hat. Pretty cool looking.
6.25.
Smells good.
Cheers.
Yeah,
let's do it.
I can drink a lot of that.
Taste.
I can drink a lot of this.
Salted caramel brownie brown ale. I like it.
Yeah, I'm in. Good job, Ben & Jerry's.
And New Belgium.
Yes, and New Belgium.
All right, so welcome to the show. It's the first day of the week.
Yeah.
That means one thing only.
Well, it means two things this week.
Oh, God, yeah.
This week.
This is the week.
We're so close.
4 years of waiting.
We are days away from The Force Awakens. Force Awakens countdown. What are we? 3 days? 4 days?
Well, it depends on when you're seeing it.
So if you're watching this on Monday when it airs,
yep.
If you go see it opening night on Thursday,
yep.
So you're 3 days away.
Basically.
Three days away. This time on Thursday, if you're watching this, well tonight, you'll be watching The Force Awakens, hopefully.
Oh my God, I can't wait.
Force Awakens countdown.
I've read an interesting thing about that movie while we're talking about it.
This isn't what I think you're gonna.
No spoilers. No. I just read that they picture locked it, the cut, on exactly 4 days to the day of when Disney acquired it.
Wow.
I thought that was kind of cool. I wonder if they did that they were ready, but they waited a couple.
Yeah, just like sitting there like,
But oh my God, it's so close. It's coming. But it's also the first day of the week, which means news. Top 5. Again, should be used to the formula by now, but each week one of us chooses the top 5 news stories of the past week, and the other doesn't know what we're going to pick. Except for one of these you were tipped off on.
Yes.
Because you're going to be providing most of the news on it. So let's just start with that one.
Sure.
Number 1, first news story of the week, PSX.
Great.
Which is what?
This past weekend, from us recording it, not us airing it, so was the 6th, 7th, the 5th, 6th, yeah, the 4th, 5th, and 5th and 6th. PlayStation Experience, so it's the big PlayStation convention that it's the second time they've done it. I think they're going to keep doing it. It's going really well. It was in Las Vegas last year. It was in San Francisco this year, I think. I'm pretty sure San Francisco this year.
San Francisco.
Maybe. Might have been San Francisco.
Some timeline.
So it's kind of their chance to get their message out to kind of the hardcore PlayStation fans. You know, E3, it's more about press conferences and investors and things like that, and trying to give messages to everyone. And this time, this is their chance to speak to just
for the fans,
the hardcore PlayStation people.
Right.
So we're just going to kind of go over some of the things that came out of my keynotes, some of the announcements, some of the highlights. This definitely isn't everything, so don't get upset if I don't cover something. If there's something you are excited about that I don't cover, please let us know, and we can talk about it in the comments.
Sure.
But this is just kind of my personal highlights, and if there's something I forget that you want me to talk about, we'll go over it.
Sure.
So the keynote opens with Uncharted 4. So they were showing... basically,
I think we knew that game was coming out.
Yeah, we did.
Okay.
Right now, it's scheduled for March, assuming it doesn't get delayed again. But the big thing that came out of Uncharted 4 was that there will be branching dialogue options in this.
So similar to a BioWare game.
Similar to a BioWare game, I don't expect it to have the same effects of a BioWare game or a Fall or something like that. Because these are such story-driven games, and they've written these out, they've planned this out. I don't think it's going to affect the same amount as a BioWare or a Fallout or something like that.
Although the Telltale games, which also use a little bit of the branch dialogue options, those are pure story.
Sure.
And your choice, whatever you choose, just changes how you see the story.
Sure, that's fair.
Something like that.
But
like, I don't think it'll be quite that.
I think
interesting stuff for those who don't even know what that means. Branch dialogue.
So the clip that's set up, it's Nathan Drake. He meets his brother, for the first time in years. He hasn't seen him in a long time, and they sit down and they're basically. He says, "I've heard all these stories about you. Tell me what's happened." And you have 3 dialogue options, and basically it's Uncharted 1, Uncharted 2, Uncharted 3. You have the option to tell the brother about that. Right. So it's if they're all similar to that, then it's not going to probably really have much of an effect. One interesting kind of theory I read about it or heard about it was that it's a way of getting you more kind of connected and invested in these characters, and maybe some choices later on, if you want to hide something from telling your brother this or this character that or something like that. But
I mean, that's interesting. Let's do a real life branched out. Call me a dick.
Dick?
And then in my head I could hit X for I should just laugh and act like it was a joke, or B, to be sad about it and make him feel bad, or C, to call him something worse. So I'll go with C. Well, you're a cunt.
Jeez.
But
wow.
It's just an option.
That took a really rough turn there.
That's what I would say. I'm aggressive.
Clearly. So let's move on. This talk's making a Let's go on to this one. So they followed that up with some Final Fantasy VII news.
Yes.
So 2 bits of Final Fantasy VII news. The first one is they teased last year that the PC port of Final Fantasy VII was going to be coming to PlayStation 4 with trophy support. Well, they did one of those things. Well, it's available right now. So the time you're watching this, you can go and get it on the PSN, PlayStation 4, the PlayStation Network, for PS4, trophy support, all that good stuff. I downloaded it tonight, so hopefully I'll have some time to dive into that somewhere down the line.
Money?
Yes. It does cost money. Up until the 12th, it's $10, and then after that, I think it's $15 or $16. So it's I mean, for a game of that size and trophies and and the PC port and all that kind of stuff, like it's a pretty good price.
But with the remake coming out,
well, the remake might not be quite what we all thought it would be.
True.
So they showed some footage of the Final Fantasy VII remake, and it's definitely looking more like an action RPG as opposed to a turn-based RPG like the original was. And maybe some more, like some weird action elements and action game elements. He's Cloud's crawling through the walls and doing all this stuff, and it quickly turns into sort of an action RPG with English dialogue and titles on it, which is kind of odd. I assumed this game was going to be a lot further out. I figured we wouldn't see this game until 2018, 2019, 2020, something like that. But after the keynote, they announced that... Well, they didn't really announce. They said in some kind of press release or something that it was going to be released in multiple installments.
I did not hear this part.
So, what that means, they haven't specified yet. It's multiple installments, and each installment would be the size of a full game. Whether that's a full Uncharted-sized game, like 12 hours, or a full RPG-sized game, 50, 60 hours installments. It's not clear whether it's going to be something more along the Telltale's episodic things, where it's every month and a half we get a little chunk, or if it's going to be like Final Fantasy 13, where it's it'll be Final Fantasy VII Remake 1, 2, 3, Cloud's Return, whatever, and spaced out over a number of years.
The clouds.
Or something in between.
Yeah.
Reactions on the internet have been really kind of all over the place. So what kind of are your initial thoughts on that one?
I don't know. I mean, let's wait and see how it ends up playing, and how that release strategy ends up working. They showed the video and I was kind of like, that's not exactly what you told us it was going to be.
Yeah, it's things are slowly starting to show, and they're like, this isn't quite what it was promised, and it's changing a little bit. Which I don't necessarily mind, because the original game is still there. Yeah. But it's slowly...
It's literally there.
Yeah, it's literally there now on PS4 for you guys to all download. But my only concern is then why... If they're going to change it that much, does it really need to be called Final Fantasy VII? I don't know.
Well, if it's overall the same story.
Sure.
I don't know. You know, I'm kind of the person when it comes to remakes. It doesn't have to be. Why make it the exact same thing?
Oh, absolutely.
When the same thing. Same thing with like when they remake a foreign movie. When they especially when they remake a British movie.
Yeah.
It's sort of like, why are you doing that? It's already like, you can make the argument that Americans don't want to watch something in a foreign language, but when it's just like a British movie from like 2 years ago, it's like, why are you gonna remake that?
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense.
So I'm always kind of like, well, if you're gonna do it, do something different. So they're doing something.
No, that's fair.
You know, we'll see how it goes.
I'm interested. We'll see. Sarah, take a drink.
All right, let's move along.
So next thing on here, I'm going to save this one for last.
Okay.
There's a lot of PlayStation VR stuff that came up.
Yeah. Cool.
Looks interesting. Looks like there could be some fun games. There's a 100-foot robot golf. Looked kind of fun. There's a couple of the games that came out of that. Again, I'm still waiting to see a little bit more on VR. I'm not totally sold on it, but I'm not totally against it.
We'll see. It's going to come down to price for me. Initial price, anyway.
Initial price and what's available kind of at launch. Yeah. More of the Ratchet and Clank remake, which looks really cool.
Have you watched the trailer for that movie?
Mm-hmm.
I think it looks awful.
Really?
Oh my god.
I don't know.
Fart jokes and...
We'll see. Take a drink.
I just saw a kid movie of some sort recently. Good Dinosaur, and the trailer was on that, and I was just like, what?
I feel like it's going to be one of those things where they're definitely marketing it towards kids who don't necessarily know the brand, but I'm hoping it's going to have a balance between kids and adults who grew up with the Ratchet and Clank games. Because those are PS2 games, and they've been out for 10, 15 years.
I definitely really liked the first game, and I turned to somebody after I watched the trailer, and I was like, you couldn't pay me to watch that movie. I thought it looked stupid. But hey,
Yeah.
Whatever.
One game I didn't actually on here, but I meant to mention, I believe it was called Bound. It's going to be Sony Santa Monica is behind it, but I think the developer is Plastic, I think is what it's called. It looks really, really interesting. They teased it up for a while. I don't know if you saw any of those. They were doing some teases on Twitter of like these short videos, and they looked like ballerina shoes or dancing shoes and things like that. And it's some kind of platformer, story-driven game about like a dancer and a kingdom. It looks really kind of bizarre and out there, and I'm really excited about it. If you guys look a little bit more, I wish I had written some more stuff down about it before this, but I didn't, so on me. But definitely check that out. I can skip this because I don't really care about it, but the big one for me this conference was Ni no Kuni 2.
Electric Boogaloo.
Yeah. Revenant Kingdom, something like that, I think is what it's called.
It's definitely
something Kingdom.
Magic.
Really excited about this. I was a big fan of the first one. If you don't know, Level 5 and Studio Ghibli teamed up to do Ni no Kuni Wrath of the White Witch. Not clear yet. At least I haven't seen anything about whether Studio Ghibli is coming back to do anything for this one. But
that's true. I mean, because they provided the art style.
Yeah, they did the art style, and I think they did the animated, like the cutscenes and stuff that were fully animated for that.
I hope so, but they kind of are in a weird place right now.
Yeah, so that's a little unclear.
It looks beautiful though.
Yeah,
the trailer and I never actually, I never played the first one. When it came out, it was really hard to find for a minute there.
Yeah.
And now it has like a greatest hits version and all that stuff, and then my PS3 broke, and I haven't had a way, and blah 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 blah, yada yada yada. So I'm excited though. I mean, I might not be able to actually play the first one before I get the second one, but I would just get the second one.
Yeah, and this
follow up on whatever the hell the story was.
Well, this is totally new characters. I think it takes place in the same universe, but kind of like a Final Fantasy, totally new characters, different storyline. I'm hoping that this means we'll maybe get a PS4 remaster of it. That'd be cool.
That happening.
Because there were, the first one was a PS3 exclusive. This one's a PS4 exclusive.
It was near the end of the PS3's life.
It was 2013, early 2013. Did great here in the West. It wasn't even announced in Japan before. This was its original. This is its first announcement before anywhere else.
They had to kind of be like, what the hell?
Yeah, I mean, well, it did better here than in Japan.
Interesting.
Yeah. But
I want a Porco Rosso game.
Oh my god, that'd be great.
Porco Rene Rosso.
I would play the hell out of that thing.
That'd be great. Cool. Yeah, I mean that's exciting, right? It looks beautiful. If you have not seen the trailer for this game, just watch it and not be interested in the game.
Yeah.
I dare you. Cool.
So that's kind of my wrap up for PSX. Is there anything else that I didn't cover that you want to talk about, or
not really? I think it's just cool that they do this.
Yeah.
Right? Something for the fans, and they still had some, not earth-shattering breaking news, but still some good news for sure came out of this event.
Absolutely.
Cool. So for more on PSX, go find other outlets.
Yeah, or if there's stuff I didn't cover, go ahead and leave us a comment.
Yeah,
I'll talk to you guys about it in the comments or tweet at me.
Sure thing. All right. So, second story. That was a lot.
Yeah,
that was just one. All right. So, Universal is like really gung-ho about getting a cinematic Monsters universe off the ground, and they're having kind of a hard time doing it because the first one was supposed to be the Dracula Untold.
Oh yeah, that's right.
That's what it was called, right?
That bombed.
That did real bad. But they're starting again by rebooting the Mummy franchise. We've known about this for a while, but we've never talked about it on the show. We've never talked about the idea of doing a shared monster universe. But there's been some news about this lately, and Alex Kurtzman of former Kurtzman and Orsi fame, they co-wrote a bunch of stuff that you've probably seen together, like the Transformers movies, and they were co-writers on, kind of ran Alias, the TV show, and they did Star Trek and MI3 and blah, 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 blah. Kurtzman is writing and directing The Mummy, and we've known that for a while, but they recently cast Sofia Boutella as the Mummy, a female. And you might be like, who's Sofia Boutella? And if you saw The Kingsman, which you have not yet, right?
Correct.
She was the henchman with the knives for legs, which
that's right,
she was awesome. She was kind of a breakout star of that movie. And so that's cool that she's in a high-profile thing, but a female mummy, kind of cool. She's shown that she can do some pretty sweet action scenes, so I'm assuming they're going to kind of go that route with the movie. But the other thing that was a couple weeks ago, and we didn't talk about it, Tom Cruise is attached to play Van Helsing in this film. And apparently he's going to be kind of a link in all these movies. This is going to be like Tom Cruise's big franchise now. The Mummy movie, or the monster movies, the Universal monster movies. So what are your thoughts on that?
It's kind of a weird thing for him to go to. I mean, he's still doing Mission
Impossible. Mission movies, which Mission 6 is happening rapidly. We now have a director, Rebecca Ferguson, but now he's going to have this.
That's such a weird thing to put him in. Like, I'm curious where...
I mean, he was Lestat in Interview with the Vampire. Maybe he... maybe he loved the Universal monster movies as a kid and wants it to come back. And he was going to be Tony Stark at one point. He missed the Marvel superhero train. And
then I wonder now what kind of tone they're going to go for with these movies, because
adventure.
Yeah.
Probably a similar tone to what... I mean, what are your thoughts on the Stephen Sommers, Brendan Fraser Mummy movie from 1999?
I really like the first one.
I think it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
The second one has some issues. Overall, it's still kind of fun. The third one's garbage.
Yeah.
I actually kind of like The Scorpion King. There's like 5 of those movies now. But
I enjoyed those.
I wouldn't mind that tone overall. But I hope that there is a different tone for each of these movies. Like if the Mummy movie wants to be an adventure horror movie, cool. Yeah. But I hope that, if they do like Creature from the Black Lagoon, I hope it's kind of like scary. And it'll be, I don't know. But, and then I guess at some point they're going to do like an Avengers type monster movie.
Just bring the Monster Squad back?
Monster Squad, sure. Why not?
Monster Squad.
Fred Decker.
Oh, man.
But, I don't know. What do you? And do you have any? You haven't seen. What I can say is, I think it's really cool that they are making the Mummy a female character.
Yeah,
that's cool, and she does some cool stuff in Kingsman. You should see that movie.
I want to.
All right. Well, that's our second story. So now I'm going to move into 3 things that we have talked a lot about, and we're going to keep talking about for some time. Let's go with Star Wars first. So we got some Star Wars news that is not about Force Awakens.
What?
I imagine that. Just a few days away, guys. We got some news about some old Star Wars projects that we thought were gone and may not be as gone as we thought they once were. Star Wars Underground and Star Wars 1313.
Okay.
So if you're not familiar with those 2 things Star Wars Underground was going to be the Star Wars television show, the live-action show, that apparently had like 100 scripts written for it and was ready to go.
Jeez.
And I've heard, since this project had been left, we've heard some stories about some of the writers that were involved. Ronald D. Moore, who show ran Battlestar Galactica, said that he had written a bunch of screenplays for this and all this stuff, and then he said that the writer's room was just filled with some of the best sci-fi writers in the world.
Wow.
And how, it's a shame that it was never going to happen. And 1313 was going to be a Star Wars game. Did you ever see the videos? The
yeah.
demo? It
long time ago.
Really impressive.
I saw the headline for this.
Right before it was Disney acquired Lucasfilm in 2012, so it was the E3 a couple months before that. They showed the footage for this, and it was going to be a next-generation Star Wars game. It looked amazing, and then it took place in like the underbelly of Coruscant in level 1313. And it looked great. So anyway, Kathleen Kennedy was recently asked by Slashfilm about these two things, and if they would ever happen. And her quote basically is about the Star Wars Underground, the TV show. She said, interestingly enough, that's an area we've spent a lot of time. Reading through the material that George developed is something we would very much like to explore. She goes on about the game. There was also 1313, the game, which was unbelievable. So our attitude is we don't want to throw any of that stuff away. It's gold. And it's something we're spending a lot of time looking at, pouring through, discussing it, and we very well may have developed those things further. We definitely want to. So a lot of people, I remember specifically with 1313, a lot of people were actually really bummed out that that game got canceled.
Yeah.
Because it looked impressive. And the TV show, there's been rumblings lately that Netflix and Lucasfilm were talking about doing a Star Wars show, so it might be this.
That could be cool.
They might have to tweak some of the screenplays, but overall they were already in place. Do you have any thoughts about the potential of these two things coming back?
I'm definitely interested.
Apparently, so are they.
I hadn't heard about the Star Wars Underground, but I definitely heard a lot about 1313, and I'm always up for a good Star Wars game
And show.
and show.
I mean, even if it's not that, a Star Wars live action show on Netflix, done with a lot of money. And
I mean, Disney and Marvel have been doing their Netflix stuff. I mean, they've already kind of got that in place.
It would be a big get for Netflix. Netflix also made a statement this past week that they're going to double their original content output next year from what it was this year. And this year there was a lot. So, all right, next story. Let's go with this one.
Okay.
Ryan Coogler, director of Creed, is apparently in final negotiations to direct Black Panther. So, you have not seen Creed yet.
I've not seen Creed yet.
But
I've heard nothing but great things about Creed, and I'm very excited to see
Fruitvale
it.
Station, another acclaimed movie.
Which I loved.
It was a good movie. Sign me up.
Yeah, I'm on board.
They obviously are making it a goal to hire an African American director for this, and he is one of our best up and coming ones. So, definitely, I think he might just kind of be pissed that he can't cast Michael B. Jordan as T'Challa.
He might show up somewhere though.
He could. There are other characters in it, I'm sure. Maybe a villain role for him. That'd be cool.
That'd be different.
It would be a different approach. And flooding into that is our fifth story, Infinity War. The upcoming Avengers Part 1 and Part 2. The actual story of Thanos coming down. Everything that's been leading up to those in the Marvel movies. Got some news about who might not be in those movies.
Ooh.
And that is what you just talked about, the Netflix Defenders. Jessica Jones, Daredevil, Luke Cage, and Iron Fist. Apparently, they might not show up in these movies, which is something a lot of people have wanted. But there's two directors, Anthony and Joe Russo. One of the Russos, I believe Joe, was recently at a Comic-Con in, I believe it was in Brazil, and he made some comments about how he's not sure if he can see those characters appearing in the movies from Netflix, because while they are all owned by the same company, there is a division of movie makers for Marvel and TV makers, and they are not the same thing. And he said basically it's sort of like trying to get those two to work together is almost like trying to get Fox Marvel characters like the X-Men in the Marvel movies. He said it's very complicated. He did say we got it to work with Spider-Man, so anything's possible, but he said that he doesn't expect it. So You bummed out?
Not really.
Okay.
They're just such different. They're between both universes have a very different tone and a very different style, and the Netflix Marvel universe has a much more grounded tone and style than the cinematic universe, and I don't totally see them working well in the Avengers universe, especially when you're fighting a galactic enemy like Thanos.
Mm-hmm.
Like maybe something if it was more like Winter Soldier or something like that.
We talked a little bit about this off the air earlier in the week, and I said how Luke Cage has impenetrable skin. Like he can be somebody who helps take on Thanos' goons. Jessica Jones maybe not as much, but
see,
here's my thing.
Okay.
Even just one of those characters just popping up for a minute, for me, when I watch those shows, would go a long way to the believability of them actually being in the same universe. Because Jessica Jones was a little bit less, so far, I haven't finished the show, heavy-handed with some of the stuff than Daredevil was early on, but when they keep talking about the attack on New York, and there are aliens now, and there's the big green guy, like, if that's just what they're going to keep doing every season, like, remember that time that they dropped that entire city, Sokovia, from the sky? Or, oh man, season 4, Jessica Jones comes out and she's like, good thing we survived the Thanos attack.
Yeah.
Like, at some point, I would just like to see one of them in the movies to really believe that they are connected.
Well, S.H.I.E.L.D. kind of did the same thing for a while, too. It was like the events in New York. Like, they didn't really... And until the Winter Soldier stuff happened, then it really felt like a connected universe.
Connected, but now they've kind of... there are other things about... They had a whole episode of S.H.I.E.L.D. where they went and cleaned up the London after the attacks of A Dark World, the Thor sequel, but none of those characters were in the episode.
Yeah.
It was just kind of like, I guess?
Well, I wonder if, and S.H.I.E.L.D. at one point had one of the Thor characters.
Yeah, they've had Lady Sif a couple times.
So I wonder if that might work better than to have somebody from the Marvel Cinematic Universe to come into the Netflix universe and just kind of show up for a one-off or
that would be
something
cool.
like that.
I think I talked about with Jessica Jones when I was reading the graphic novel. She goes on a date with Scott Lang, the Paul Rudd Ant-Man.
He's someone that's a character I could believably see kind of having more of a tie-in other than Thor comes down and Thor shows up as part of Daredevil.
Yeah, it's just, to me though, there are other reports that the whole division is not actually. It's really hard to plan these things out. It's that Kevin Feige, the head of the cinema side, hates Perlmutter, the head of the TV side. They hate each other. And if it's literally comes down to there's two guys who don't like each other, and that's the reason that the world doesn't get this crossover that a lot of people want, that's lame.
Yeah, but money talks, and if there's enough money involved, I'm sure they'll be able to make up their differences.
Hopefully. So that's our top 5 for the week. What did we miss? What was the big story I didn't cover from last week? Let me know. I'm sure there was something.
There was. I'm absolutely sure.
And like you were saying before, if you just comment in the YouTube, we'll comment back.
Yeah.
Have a dialogue.
Yeah, we'll have a dialogue. If you want to reach out to either of us on Twitter, I'm on Twitter at Rich Belson.
I'm at Stonks.
The channel's on Twitter at OABeer_official. And if you want to email us, you can email us at overabeerofficial@gmail.com. You can also find us at Facebook at facebook.com/overabeer. I would give you a custom YouTube URL, but like we've said for the last few weeks, we don't have one yet. And
we just can't do it.
Can't do it. We need 100 subscribers to do it. So if you like these videos, please share them with your friends and subscribe to the channel. If you do that and if you leave a comment, we will like it. And we had a big argument about this last week, so I want to follow this up.
Oh.
I was right. Because I said I could throw sheep at you guys on Facebook, and he said I was wrong, and we looked it up. And then, remember Super Poke? Remember all that bullshit?
I don't know if I said you were wrong. I just said I had no idea what the hell you're talking about. It sounded crazy.
You just freaked out. So, yes, you can. There was a time you could throw livestock at people, as well as Super Poke and all other kinds of weird shit on Facebook. So maybe we'll do that to you. Maybe we'll do that.
Throw some sheep at your face.
We'll throw sheep out, but we'll like it. We'll retweet you. We'll comment. We'll do all that fun stuff.
Totally.
But until next time, we'll see you.